Hello. So today we have a special question for Alexa, and this has to do with what's going on in our world. So let me ask this. Alexa, what's the color of your skin?
I'm software made of electrons, and electrons have no color. They do reflect all of the colors of the rainbow.
Huh, interesting. Stay tuned, guys.
Good morning, Optiminds, and happy Monday. Unlike our previous videos where we always joke around, this one's going to be kind of serious, and I just want to start off from the beginning saying these are our opinions, this is our point of views, and this is our perspective. So please keep that in mind when you look at this video. But this is our views. So as you saw from our guest of honor, Alexa,
Say hello, Alexa. Hello, Alexa. Okay, never mind. She's mad at me.
She's having a moment. She's also kind of upset because of the recent events that have transpired in the last few months, starting with the Black Lives Matter and especially the Asian hate that has occurred recently. Now, this was a topic that I chose that I thought was important to address because of something that's ongoing. You know, we had the Black Lives Matter recently, then this Asian hate and all this stuff coming up in the news. People think that when things happen, you discuss it, you talk about it, it goes away. But that's not how it works. Because if it did work that way, we wouldn't be talking about Asian hate today. And Asian hate, the reason I wanted to bring this up more so is because Asia is not just China, Philippines, it also consists of India, Pakistan, and being a visible minority, I thought it was important. I'll go further. Also, who do I do this whole thing with, Optimize? My friend Marlon. Marlon is of Latino. And the last I checked, we are two visible minorities. And as such, I think it's important to us to address it. So with everything that has transpired and everything that's going on lately, we need to understand of what has happened in the past to get us to this point. And my input on this is history. So the students looking at this right now, not paying attention in your history class, you need to do better and pay attention to history. And those that didn't pay attention back in the day, this is your history lesson. Google it. Check it out. See what happened. See how we got to America. Christopher Columbus, 1492. The last I heard, it was the Amerindians that were the real owners of this place. So this is all history, and as such, it's important to understand history to understand the trends that have transpired. Because trends repeat, and if trends were cut or addressed, we wouldn't be having to deal with this right now,
Right.
especially in news. Marlon, chime in. What's your input on this?
To me, first of all, it's just crazy because as I was telling Alvin, listen, if I were to grab a chainsaw and cut you in half, literally like cut him in half,
Can you picture that?
cut myself in half, and cut my other friends of other ethnic backgrounds in half, guess what's inside? Bones, blood, muscle, nerves, and we all look exactly the same. So, with that being said, I just think that we can no longer keep sweeping all of this stuff under the rug. It's important for us to be open minded, and I've always said it in the past videos. It's important for us to always be open minded, hear what somebody else has to hear, but we also have to address things and take the bull by its horns. Is this gonna go away from day to night? No, it's not. But what's gonna make the difference is us addressing it, us talking to our friends, us if we're parents, us teaching our kids at home. If we are, if we work with youth and with, let's say, if we work at community groups or whatever the case may be, us bringing awareness. Awareness brings education. Educations educate people, and educated people, guess what happens? They do smart choices.
And that's been proven if you just look at history, that's that. You touched on kids, and I know we don't have kids, but we have cousins, we around children, especially my family, lots of kids. And it's hard because I've been hearing stories from the parents of kids coming back home and hearing about how this is touching them there. And I'm smiling because we spoke about this earlier, and Marlon, you gave me the example of when you were younger in some scenarios that, you just went up to the bully and you just addressed it your way, but that's not all something everyone can do. Especially the parents would be like, we're not encouraging violence.
Correct.
But that's a whole thing that he did, and I was like, good for you, you did that.
So I used to have a really horrible bully when I was in school, right? And this man had bullied me for 2 years of my life. I had it. I was about 6 years old. My mom knew about it. Everybody knew that this man was a bully, but again, I wouldn't stand up to him. So I finally went. I talked to my mom about it, and I asked her permission if I could finally like tell him something. Now I knew that if I were to tell him something, something was gonna be done to me because he's a bully, right? So my mom was like, "Look, if you engage in any kind of violence, it's not okay. But if that happens and you have to defend yourself, make sure that you don't hit him in his private parts, that you don't hit him in the eyes, and all of those sensitive places." So my when I was telling Alvin this, I'm not saying that you have to literally go to violence to solve this. What I'm trying to say is you have to address it. You have to confront it. Otherwise, if we don't confront, whether it's fears, whether it's this topic, if we don't confront problems and issue, guess what happens? We keep sweeping things under the rug, and it's never gonna go away.
So my advice to kids, and thanks for sharing that, Marlon, is you have to pick and choose and see how you can go about it. First point, discuss it with your parents. If you can't discuss it with your parents, see if you can find another adult. Sometimes a teacher, a mentor, someone that you feel that you can trust. There has to be someone. And if not, platforms like this. Because there are people that want to help. There are people that want to listen and try to nurture and encourage you. And the last I checked, this is bringing so much more awareness that I am even shocked by the people that usually don't show emotions that are showing emotions recently that I've been discussing with, hearing from. So that's my advice to the kids out there. For the adults, it's also something that, we just got used to. We just said, okay, it is what it is. It's how it's always been. But just because it's always been one way doesn't mean it always has to stay that way. And I'm not saying to go encourage violence or any of that stuff. I'm saying encourage discussion and as Marlon described, get the conversation going. So past meets present. Now where do you go in the future? Exactly that. We keep encouraging these conversations. Unfortunately, we're going to see more news headline. It's just a reality of it. It's statistics. There's another course that students out there pay attention because it does repeat these trends, unfortunately. But understanding statistics will help you understand where we're headed. And as such, you can forecast certain things. I'm not saying I want to forecast it, but I'm saying reality is it is what it is, and it's what we need to make it. So we need to nurture, we need to hold hands, we need to do, I'm not saying hold hands and do kumbaya, but if I could in my world, I would. But unfortunately, this reality of the world we live in, we all have differences. And you can burp as an expressionist or cough, and someone will take it the wrong way. You could blink, someone might think you're upset with them. You could say something's in my throat, they'll think you're angry. You have to come to realize that not everyone's going to interpret things the way you want to interpret it. And that's something really hard for me to swallow. It has been my life, and I'm sure you've had experiences, but you have to learn to work through it and walk away. Sometimes walk away. And sometimes you can't walk away, but you can control what you say. But you can't control how you feel, and your face will always show it. So with that said, we're starting to put some topics like this out there. We want to encourage these things. We want to hear feedback from you. Write to us. Again, this is a platform that's meant to nurture, encourage, inspire, to do good. So please, please, please do write to us. Marlon shared a story, I'll tell you, that he shared about when he was younger. But I wanted to share a story as well that you don't know about. And yes, and I smile because when I'm nervous, I smile. But you said that something happened to you when you were younger. So something happened like that many times when I was younger. And I come from a place that people think is all about peace and nothing bad happens. People have no idea that it doesn't. Discrimination and racism and hate has no border, has no color. It goes beyond borders. And I had to deal with that. I didn't address it. So guess what? It continued. It continued. It continued. It was so bad that when my memories, I think back to my elementary school, my high school, I think of the worst times of my life. But it wasn't all bad, but it was a big part of it. And what was I told? Ignore them. I shouldn't have. I should have done something. And I'm not saying I should have acted on violence or something, but no one did anything to help me. And it was an earlier time in life. Teachers didn't help. Parents didn't help. None of that. So we have a platform now. People are doing more out there. Teachers are more aware of it. So those that are watching right now, parents, students, please don't let this happen to your kids, and please try to like really just get this going and really have an open forum and get that. So we hope you've enjoyed this video. Marlon, any last words?
No, all I'm gonna say is I love what Alexa said. She has no colors because she's electrons. And guess what? At the end of the day, like I said, if we cut our bodies in half and we split them open, guess what? We are nerves, muscles, and bones, and those have no different colors.
And one more thing, a heart.
Exactly. We hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it's a serious topic and hard, but again, I wishing you guys a great week, and we will see you next week.
Stay tuned.